Hey, what's going on everyone? This video we're going to be talking about the float, double, and decimal data types. The previous video we talked about the integral types. These allow whole numbers. Well, the types in this video are going to allow numbers after the decimal. By the end of this video, you should understand the differences between the three, as well as some of the different properties and methods that you could use with these types. Before we dive in, I encourage you guys to check out our sponsor, Monday.com. Monday.com is a project management solution that'll give you the tools needed to succeed at project management. Monday.com presents your work in a nice, organized user interface where you can log progress, as well as mark things as complete, in progress, or blocker, or whatever you may want it to be. All of the columns are fully customizable, and you can make your board exactly how you need it. It's a very beautiful system. I'd encourage you guys to check it out. I'll leave a link for you in the description. So the first type is float. We can create a float like so. Now, when you use a float, you have to end it with an F. That's because when we put an F on a literal, we're saying that literal value is of type float. If we leave off that F, we're saying it's a double. And you can't assign a double to a float without explicitly converting it. That's because float is a 32-bit data type where double is a 64-bit. What that means is there's a potential loss of information, and C# not going to let you do that automatically. So if you need to store a double inside of a float, you have to do the float type casting right before it. But we're not going to be needing that, so we're just going to put an F right here and say that this is a float. Double does not work the same way, meaning we can assign a float to a double just fine. I like to think of it as double being a backpack that's twice as big as a float, so storing a float inside of a double is no problem. But most of the time we're not going to be needing this F here, so we'll just take that off. Now, when would you want to use a float and when would you want to use a double? 99.9% of the time you're going to want to use double. The only time you would ever really want to use a float is if you're really restricted on memory. It's typically not going to be the case that you're really restricted on memory because most of the computers running the .NET framework are going to have a pretty good amount of memory. This might come up more in a language like C where you're building on really small devices, or if you're trying to do that with the .NET framework, you might need to be concerned about memory and stick with the float data type. Just understand that it can't store quite as much information and it's a little bit more limited. In my situation, I'm on a pretty decent MacBook, so I'm going to be using double for the rest of the series. Now the thing with float and double is that they're floating point data types. And basically, floating point data types cannot be trusted when it comes to precision. This is based on the IEEE, had to count how many E's I said, standard, which will give a double type, for example, a certain number of decimal places that it can trust. So I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of all of that in this video, but if you're interested, go look up precision with doubles and you'll find all kinds of information about it. But basically what I know is that at some point, a double is not going to be trusted when it comes to precision. So if you need to do something that needs to be very, very precise, then you need to use the decimal data type. This is going to work the same way, you just need to end the literal with an M. So if you're working with something such as money, you will want to use the decimal data type. If you're working with scientific estimations that are basically really precise estimates, then double should be fine. So once again, decimal for precision, and then double if you don't need exact precision. Now let's talk about some properties and methods. When you type out a data type and put a dot, IntelliSense is going to tell us that there are constants, the C, and then there are M for methods. Methods do something, constants give us a value. Double has three special types you should know about: NaN, which stands for not a number, negative infinity, and positive infinity. There may be certain situations where something evaluates to not a number, but you can manually create it using this constant value. So this could be assigned to a double. Let's say double A is equal to double dot not a number. So now A is the value not a number, and this could be tested against. So if we do a write line and say double dot is not a number and pass in A, this will evaluate to true, and you can see it outputs true. So if you ever need to test if something is considered not a number, you can use this isNaN method. There is also isInfinity. So the way this is going to work is if a number is infinite, then it will evaluate to true. You can do that the same way by doing dot infinity and then choosing positive or negative. So that's one way you could do it. You could also generate infinity, so you could do math dot pow, pass in, I don't know, a big number and raise that to another really big number like so. All right, so we're going to assign this to A. So what we're doing is basically calculating a number that's going to give us infinity. When we do .NET run, we get true. And there's a similar one for negative infinity. There are some other methods. You can just see those by pressing the dot. So you can go through these and see some of the other options, look those up if you're interested. But overall, that's a pretty good introduction to the double data type, the float, and the decimal data type. Decimal also has some cool methods, so you can type decimal dot, and you can do all these methods. You can add, you can get the ceiling of numbers, you can compare numbers, and much more. So go through these. That's all I got for you guys on float, double, and decimal. Hopefully that was a good introduction. Check out the next video because we're going to be continuing our discussion on data types, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching and subscribe.